Hello, I'm Jerry Work.
And I'm Jeff Spencer.
We're from Profit Dig, and we're going to talk to you today about accounting for your equipment. So, Jeff, if I own a construction company, I probably have some very expensive equipment.
Right.
So, how do I know what I should charge for that equipment in my bids?
Well, there's a couple different ways I know of doing it. Some of the contractors I've been involved with in the past, they will call their local equipment companies and get rental rates, and they base their equipment cost off of rental rates. Company I used to work for in the past, they would take the cost of the equipment, what it costs to purchase, and they base it on a 5-year plan. That every 5 years that equipment would have to be replaced or have some major maintenance done to it, and they would take the cost of that equipment and add 15% to it, because in 5 years that piece of equipment is going to cost you at least 15% more than what it did on your initial purchase. And once they've done that, they would divide that by the 5 years and then divide it by the working hours per year to get an hourly cost just for the equipment.
Okay.
And you still have to take into account for your fuel. Your fuel is going to cost you something, and then you have your regular maintenance on that equipment. And usually whatever that hourly cost was, they would add 15% to that hourly cost to allow for their maintenance program.
Okay, so I've got the cost of the equipment plus 15%,
Right.
plus something for fuel as well as maintenance on the equipment.
Yes.
Okay, and then I'm going to get an hourly rate from all that.
Yes.
And that's the rate that I should charge in my job bid
Yes.
for use of that equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So what if it's something that I only use for an hour or two a day on the job site?
Well, most people will usually charge a 3 to 5 hour minimum.
Okay.
Because it's not really worth their time to move a piece of machinery out just to do 1 hour worth of work.
Okay.
And so you need to get something to make it worth your while to go out and perform the work that you're going to do. And most people will charge a 3 to 5 hour minimum.
All right.
And plus you still have like through Profit Dig, you've got your equipment set up, and then you also have your employees. So your operator for that equipment is set up under your employees at his hourly rate.
Okay.
And for other companies that are not using Profit Dig, then you may want to tack your operator wage on top of your hourly cost to make sure you're accounting for them also.
Okay, so one way or another, I need to account for the equipment as well as the guy who's operating.
Yes.
So what about things like, say, my pickup truck that I drive to the job site? Is that just a cost that I eat, or how do we account for that?
Well, it needs to be accounting, preferably, in my dealings was per hour. That equipment's got to have, that pickup truck's got to have maintenance on it. It's got to have tires replaced, breakdowns or whatever, and eventually it's got to be replaced. So, you need to figure out the hourly rate, for your equipment to cover, for your truck to cover your cost. And, in 5 to 7 years, it's got to be replaced, so you need to have enough money to buy a new one.
Okay, so how much time should I account for that for, say my pickup truck?
And it's going to depend a lot on your job. With just going to the job site, working all day, then going home, usually 2 hours a day. If you're on a big project where you're going to be using your pickup going back and forth from one side of the job to the other, or a few miles up and down the road every day, you may want to charge 4 or 5 hours to cover the cost.
Now, is that usually something that's a separate item in a bid, or how should I account for that truck? Make sure that.
Well, a lot of time, most of the time, when you're setting up your crews and stuff, and you have a crew per job, that will be a piece of equipment that you would allocate in that crew.
Okay. All right, Jeff. Good information.
All right, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.